Welcome to this edition of the Oneonta Theatre film series, sponsored by the Friends of the Oneonta Theatre. The April subtitle, thematic thread, as it were, for these films is one of a kind. And tonight's film is, again, a singular work, something that is very much unlike any other films made in Hollywood or, to a certain degree, anywhere else. The film is Sunset Boulevard. It is not a first film for its director. He had been working, this was made in 1950. He had been working in Hollywood as a director for about 10 years. But before that, he had worked in Hollywood as a screenwriter. When someone from a different area of the film production business in Hollywood becomes a director, it is often a screenwriter who does that, not so much a cinematographer or an editor. A screenwriter becomes a director and then usually, as in this case, respects the screenwriter's work. It's his own, of course, and therefore tends not to have an elaborate or attention-getting, very strong visual style. The director of Sunset Boulevard, also the co-screenwriter Billy Wilder, has a very direct and straightforward visual style. It is a matter of showing what the audience needs to see when the audience needs to see it. The storyline, the situation in Sunset Boulevard is one that involves Hollywood itself as a subject. Hollywood at the time, in the present, in 1950, the era of the movie when it was made, but also Hollywood of the past, Hollywood of the 1920s, Hollywood of the silent era, so that those two worlds are juxtaposed and, to a degree, collide during the course of this story. Someone from a younger individual from the current world of filmmaking in Hollywood crosses paths with a woman who had been a major star in the silent era and now was a recluse who lived practically by herself and in a kind of semi-fantasy world where she basks in the image that she once had, but is now essentially forgotten by the public, and indeed by Hollywood. So it's a fascinating and, I think, hard-nosed look at Hollywood and human beings. It is not a naive or sentimental story. There is wit there, but it is a kind of bitter, satiric wit in the film. And as such, it didn't please the powers that be in Hollywood at the time. Louis B. Mayer at MGM wanted to have the film bought up and not released. He felt it did Hollywood a disservice. But we can look at it now as a kind of double time capsule, a time capsule of the 1950s, of 1950, the movie's own era, and the time capsule of the people from the silent era who are involved in it and whose personalities and careers are reverberating and echoing in this story. So enjoy your visit, your trip down Sunset Boulevard.